Welcome to Easy 3 Sport Production. I'm your host Suttles, and today is player profile time. We'll be talking about Rashod Bateman. Is he good enough to get drafted at number 11? We'll see. Let's get it. Rashod Bateman, 6'2", 210-pound wide receiver out of University of Minnesota. Rashod Bateman. His skill set is specifically toned and bred for New York Giant football for this particular situation. He's a prototype, 6'2", 210 pounds, and I believe that this is what we're looking for, Giants fans. I truly do, but is he worth the number 11 pick? But let's get into his stats from last year. Now, last year, the Big Ten only played 5 to 6 games, depending if you made the playoffs or not. But Minnesota only played 5, but the year before is where he had his big year. He had 60 receptions for 1,219 yards and 11 touchdowns. He went off. But then coming back into 2020, it was a COVID year. He only played 5 games. He had 36 receptions for 472 yards and only 2 touchdowns. Now, those numbers are kind of underwhelming, but as I said, the Big Ten football, they only had 5 games, but you know, at least we got to see a little bit of film on him for this season. Now we're going to get into the strengths. One of his strengths is he has terrific hands. He has hands to make sure that he's going to grab that ball, he's going to tuck it in. He doesn't drop balls. That he has very strong hands, and that is a very good thing to have for a wide receiver, because we all know who we already have, who I do not like, Stonehand Ingram. I'm not going to go off on him, but having hands is a very important piece for this Giant football team. The second thing, he's very versatile. The versatility. You can put him anywhere on the field and he's going to be a threat. He's an inside-outside threat. He can play the X, he can play the Y, he can play the Z. He can play anything that you need him to do, because he's just that type of talented, and he's just that type of guy. The third thing, route running. Now, his deep route running and his intermediate is just kind of good. He is really good with the short route running when we're only doing 5-yard ins, outs, drags, those kinds of things. He is very exquisite at those types of routes, but he's also good with finding holes in the zone with his route running. Even though it might be a deep post or a deep corner route or deep in, deep out, he knows how to push that zone down the field and cut off on his breaks. And that is something that we definitely need, because separation is 100% the key for this Giant squad. His rack. He has the candy ability to pick up yards after the catch. He can receive it, and he can turn on the burners, and he can turn a 3 to 4 yard completion into an 8 to 10 yard reception. So that is something that we need, because that is a playmaker's mentality. That is a playmaker's type feel, and Danny needs somebody like that to get the ball in their hands quick and let them do the rest. Now, when we're talking about Rashod Bateman, some say that he is the 4th, 5th best wide receiver in this class because it's so stacked. Now, is he worth the number 11 pick? That is truly like the question, because is that reaching or is it not? Maybe, but now let's get into his weaknesses. He doesn't have too many of them, but one of them, he's not fast. He's not the fastest wide receiver that you're going to see. He's not going to blaze you away with 4.2 speed. He's not a Tyreek Hill. He's not a Jalen Waddle, of somebody that I spoke about earlier. He is not that kind of guy. But in the NFL, we already know you don't have to be the fastest guy to be the best receiver. You just have to know how to run your routes to a crisp, and you got to know the positioning. You got to know how to sell your routes. That's all you need to know. I'm not too worried about the speed, because we also have Darius Slayton, who is a burner. So that's not one of the toughest things that I'm like, oh my God, we can't get him, he has no speed. And the other thing, it's a little weakness. I told you that he runs short routes really well. It is him cutting after he gets the ball. So the change of direction, as I said, he gets a lot of yak, the yards after the catch, but it's more so of straight line running. It's not anybody, he's not somebody who's going to juke you out of your shoes and then take it to the house. He's not that kind of guy. He's the kind of guy that'll probably catch a drag route and then he'll turn it upfield and he'll turn it into positive yards. But as for catching that in route and then squaring up with somebody and being able to change the directions to make the guy miss and then take it home, he's not that kind of guy. But that's okay for a wide receiver. Now, the biggest question, I said it twice, is he worth the number 11 pick? In my eyes, no, he is not worth the number 11 pick. The number 11 pick has to be a stud on top of studs. That guy has to be able to change the game the minute he steps on to the field. And I don't feel that Rashod Bateman is that guy at number 11. Now, I truly would not mind taking him if we was to trade down into like the 20s, or if he falls to the second round. That is a great value pick, and that's what I see Rashod Bateman as, a great value pick, depending on where you get him. Number 11, I feel like you'll be reaching. If you get him at 22, that is a perfect spot for Rashod Bateman for his skill set and what I believe that he can do into the league. Now, the player comparison that I see from him is Justin Jefferson. Yes, the Offensive Rookie of the Year, Justin Jefferson from LSU, who was also a national champion. Now, a lot of people were saying the same thing. He has the same build. He has the same, height, build. You can play him on the outside, inside. He's just that effective. But you also need, like for Justin Jefferson, why he was so successful this season was because they had Adam Thielen. And Adam Thielen was getting a lot of the bracket coverages, the double coverage, and Justin Jefferson was able just to go off. But also, I see a lot of Rashod Bateman in Justin Jefferson. Like, that is the kind of guy that he is. The games are identical. And I wouldn't mind, as I said, getting him in the later first round or definitely in the second round, because he can be a stud. But it depends on the kind of situation. Rashod Bateman coming to the Giants, unless we go out and we get a number 1 receiver from free agency, I don't see us getting Rashod Bateman at number 11. I feel like that it would be a reach. But anything lower than 17, I swear Rashod Bateman is that guy. And this has been a Subtle's take for Easy 3 Sport Production. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also share the video. Sharing is caring. Help the channel grow. Until next time, I'm out.